Hi, welcome to Talk About here on Shaw TV North Island. My name is John Twigg, and our guest today is Helen Whitaker. Helen, thanks for coming in.
I'm glad to be here, John.
Second time, is it?
Yes,
it
is.
Third, seniors moment. Now, the occasion today is as we're taping, the official opening of the Senior Center in Campbell River.
Right.
3 till
really
5.
Exciting.
Yeah, what a saga.
It has been a long story, and it's the story that we're going to celebrate as well as the new center.
Yeah.
New center is a terrific facility. Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's open, it's airy, it's central, it's in the flat area of town.
Yeah.
It has a superb kitchen. The space subdivides for activities. Yeah. It's just an absolutely great space. Yeah. But the part that I love is the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've basically, I think, got 4 rooms in there.
We do. We have a huge welcoming area, and that's got lots of natural light, and that'll be the dining room, and that's where Mexican train and bingo and those kind of things, because that's where the big crowds go. And then we have, as I say, a fabulous kitchen. Then we have an open room that we're hoping to put pool tables in, but at the moment we have nothing in there. Yeah. And then we have what we call the quiet room, and we are going to name that after one of our illustrious members with great delight tonight. And in that room, it's kind of a multi-purpose. It's
this is recorded, so you can tell
That's
us.
Okay, we can tell you then. Yes. Jessie Belcher is one of our honorary members.
Yes.
Over a certain wonderful age, and on her own initiative, she wrote a seniors charter and submitted it to the city. Yes. And she really challenged the city, and they really had to tinker with it and get it. And they said it's kind of funny when they do a youth charter, they do the youth charter and the youth move on. But when you do a seniors charter, those seniors are there to examine every word on it, Yeah. So Jessie was presented with a charter at City Council a couple of months ago, but they have made a framed edition for her, and we're going to hang it at the Senior Center.
Awesome.
So we thought we'd make that room called Jessie's Room.
Awesome.
Jessie's Place, I think, is the name of it.
Yeah.
So that's this afternoon's excitement, right?
Okay. Well, the saga is that the Senior Center was in the Campbell River Common Mall. Right. And then things happened. You had to find a new location.
Right.
You had part-time at the Sportsplex.
Part-time at the community center. Yoga met down in Willow Point. The men played pool out at the Eagles. We were really welcomed into lots of places. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, not being centralized was we were not going to be able to meet our mission. Yeah. So what we did was, and this is the process that I believe in, but not all my group believed in it. I believe in the political process.
Yeah, I should say she's the president. I think
I am. So, there was a small group, and we put a little bit of political pressure on. We were very well received.
A little bit.
We were very well received by, first of all, the Commission for Culture and Recreation listened to us to make a couple of presentations. And we worked closely with the Parks and Recreation people, who realized that we were delivering a service that that was valuable to the community. So that was important.
I'm going to interrupt there because the services are very important. And when you were first in this common mall, you had a kitchen at the back.
Right.
But you were almost, I hesitate to use the word food kitchen, but there were a lot of lower income seniors that were getting their main meal of the day there. And furthermore, by getting in there, they were identified as needing particular services, right?
That's actually a wonderful part of the old story, John. Originally, we just simply wanted to be an autonomous group that could decide what we would do and when we would do it. And then the kitchen women, not top down at all, but what they call these days organically, realized that a lot of people were having their lunch there and purchasing a sandwich to take home. And the women began to, instead of just having a casual soup and sandwich lunch, began to cook meatloaf or, pot roast or those kind of things. And it happened without anybody deciding. Yeah. It was simply one group of seniors recognizing a need in another, and that's what thrills me the most. So the kitchen is called the Heart and Soul.
And when you moved, you lost some of that, I think.
Well, we had an excellent kitchen, but we weren't meeting the downtown
Yeah.
people. They couldn't make it out to the Sportsplex,
Yes.
either for a couple of seniors issues, transportation and
Yeah.
mobility, right?
Yeah.
Those are two
Yeah.
issues, and that impeded their ability to get out to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're really happy to be back there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful spot, you
Yeah.
know.
Now,
So-
there's a future question about you're there for 4 years, I think?
We have a 4-year lease. The city
Yeah.
negotiated a 4-year lease with the owner, and with the option to renew, I think, for forever, but probably for 20 years.
Wow.
And you know, that's a wonderful option for us. As we mature as an organization, we'll
Yeah.
be able to, we know that we have a place of permanency.
Yeah.
And so we can make plans around that, and I think
Yeah.
that's quite
Yeah.
significant.
And
Yeah.
the landlord there, Alan Eady, deserves a fair amount of credit for this, I believe.
Mr. Eady was really a significant player. That's part of the story that I really like.
Yeah.
The city realized that we needed it. Once we had the political initiative, and I must say the politicians were receptive and
Yeah.
started the process. The city
Yeah.
staff were wonderful.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Eady stepped up and has formed this partnership as well. The city has leased space from the mall, and then we're the tenants of the city.
Yes.
But Mr. Eady has donated some extra space so that we can run some of our bigger programs.
Yeah, exercise room, I think.
We're going to call it the E-Wing, and it's down the other end of the mall,
Yeah.
and it has wonderful hardwood floors, so our line dancers are really happy.
Yeah.
Yoga's happy,
Yeah.
and we're hoping to hold meetings and that kind of thing in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I can manufacture 28 minutes to talk about a lot of things here, no problem. But there was talk before the election of maybe moving the seniors to a permanent home on the Tyee Plaza with a building that is only a concept right now.
Right.
Do you think that's still in the cards, or?
No, I have no idea where that came from.
Okay.
Actually, that came from the former mayor, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm
Yeah.
not sure where that
Yeah.
came from. One of the things that I do know it would be that it would be a development thing, but.
Yeah, it could be purpose-built, but
When we're
frankly,
in a
I've
place like
seen-
we have, where we have
Yeah, why-
everything,
why move?
Why would you?
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely
Yeah.
a magnificent,
Yeah.
lit, spacious place with a kitchen.
And great parking.
And great parking, and flat, and walkable, and
Yeah.
close to seniors' housing. And
Yeah.
of course, that's what we're discovering in Canada, is there tends to be, seniors tend to want to coalesce. They tend to gather in
Yeah.
groupings in big cities and small, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So when you think about seniors' housing in Campbell River, that's where it is, down in the flat area.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Helen is a former nurse
Right.
in Alberta,
Right?
and you've been here, what, 6 years, something?
I came here in 2006, but
Yeah.
you'll have to do the math.
So 8 was good. What was that? I don't have any senior stories. But the seniors' health issues it's a big societal issue, it's a community issue, and
It's why I'm involved in
it's a
this.
political issue too.
I have not been able to drop that old 40-year nursing habit of
Yeah.
wanting, because the healthier we are as individuals, then the healthier we are as families and as a society.
Yeah.
And the healthier we are, the better this healthcare system
Yeah.
runs, you know. And I think actually what we do know is that seniors are high-end users of the system. So the healthier we keep ourselves,
Yeah,
the
keeping
better.
them out of the system.
Keeping out of the healthcare system and keeping individuals healthy.
Yeah.
And of course we know now that socialization is really key to that.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
also early identification of people exhibiting
You mean
issues
at
that
risk?
need. Yeah, but whether it's maybe a hip issue or a head issue, you know, but if problems are addressed early, the cost of treating them is less. Is that true?
Yes, yeah, like
Yeah.
anything it would
Yeah.
be. Except that, you know, we do wear out, John.
No.
We do wear out, and you know, there is an optimum time for a hip replacement, and it may not be as it begins to wear. It might be a little later while you build up your physical strength or your auxiliary, you know, ligamental system, that kind of thing. So I don't think I could speak to that anymore. See, you're
well, hip replacement.
But you know what I mean?
For example, if you delay it, it becomes worse.
I see what you mean.
But if you say, okay, sir, you're going to need a hip replacement in about 3 years, you better get yourself fit.
You know, I think that's going to be, I think that's what's going to come. I think we're going to have to say to people, to us, we are responsible for our own health. And there's no question personally, you know, if my knee would be better if I was carrying 30 pounds less. Yeah. So Helen, what are you going to do about it? So that's the kind of conversation I think we need to have when we start to talk about health issues. I think that's going to be important, you know.
I've got a line down here, adult daycare program. What's the story there?
Well, I think they need to rename it because daycare has a strong association with children and people. So I do not know what the criteria would be to be involved in an adult daycare. Would it be because there's a failure to socialize, an inability to provide your own meals? That I truly do not know, John, what adult day. And you know what, that's one of the problems that I think is going to be solved as the boomers come through. Complex care beds. What's a complex care bed, right? I don't know. What's an alternative level of care bed? What's an adult day care bed? Do you know what I mean? So what is the criteria that, who lays out the criteria? And how flexible is it going to be?
I have a clipping here from the Mirror of November 14th. View Campbell River and District's adult daycare program through family's eyes. And there is a Campbell River and District Adult Care Society. But that's nothing to do with the senior center.
That is not, no, but you see, that would be the kind of thing a well-organized senior center, which we hope to be, would have information on and would know the key people, right? For referral. So right now, I would simply refer anybody through our community health, say our community health nurses. They would, I think, know the resources that are in the city.
Now, one of the genesis of this show was that it was National Seniors Day recently, and it went virtually unnoticed because I guess nobody did promotions or whatever. It's not on the official calendars. But I've also got a headline here somewhere about make seniors issues a political election issue. So
we're the emerging demographic, of course, you know, and the boomers are going to press all of their issues. I'm sure of it. And the other thing is we vote. Because we have opinions, right? And we vote.
Yes, the turnout ratio. I'm a political junkie, and the pollsters in the last provincial election got it wrong because they surveyed everybody without, except 1 or 2 people, analyzing, well, okay, the turnout ratio. So seniors turn out en masse.
Absolutely.
Juniors.
And you know, if I was a pollster, I would be thinking about how I question, because you don't phone a senior, because we're of another generation, and say, who are you going to vote for? What you say to them is, may I ask you who you're going to vote for? Because we all come out of households where your voting was nobody else's business, right? So that'll be interesting to see how that emerges. What do you think? When a pollster calls you and says, who are you going to vote for, do you tell them?
I play games with them.
Of course. Of course. I wonder, you know, and well.
But actually, I got robocalled. Laura and I both did. But what it was is that there was a certain political party that was, we were on their calling list, and I was saying, you know, look, I've got some problems with the Prime Minister. And then election day, they phoned and said, you know, don't forget to vote, and by the way, they've moved your polling. And I said, oh, that's interesting, I've already voted. But I didn't tell them that. My head. But yeah, the role of seniors in politics and society
is really going to change.
You know, like my parents at 65, they were thinking, okay, well, I'm done. I'm 65 now, I am not done.
That's right.
And you look at city council here, the average age You know, like Andy, the mayor, is 57 and
Right.
took early retirement. But there's a lot of seniors on council.
Well, there's a lot of seniors in the city.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about last time, John, was the changing demographic. One of the things in Campbell River is that we're 2 to 3% higher than the national average in our percentage of seniors.
Yeah.
But that's possibly because, and probably because, we're missing our 25 to 55-year-olds, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's, quite frankly, who we need back. We need back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that to do business in Campbell River, you need to deal with the fact that there's a high percentage of seniors here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Now, recently, Helen made a presentation that we have something here called Philosopher's Cafe, and Peter Schwarzhoff was on this show way back when he was just launching them. And you had a pretty good turnout, and the topic was loneliness.
Yeah,
Tell us a bit about
cheerful topic, loneliness and
Yeah.
social isolation.
Yeah.
Well, Peter came and asked me to do it because of my history with working in the hospital and how loneliness and social isolation affects the usage of healthcare facilities. And the Philosopher's Cafe was well attended, and people took a genuine interest in what they could do about it. That's
Yeah.
how I thought
Yeah.
it went. I talked a little bit about loneliness and social isolation in seniors, in that it's a period of time when there's loss.
Yeah.
You know, there's a loss of mobility, a loss of sight, a loss of hearing,
A
a
loss
loss
of
of your
spouse.
partner,
Yes.
a loss of your partner of 60 years, 50 years, and that kind of familiar daily exchange is gone.
Yeah.
You know, and so navigating out socially again changes dramatically. And I think in our 70s we're less able to manage without a spouse than if we lose that spouse at a younger age. Now, I don't really know, but I'm guessing that when you've had a long-term relationship and marriage, and you lose a spouse or your significant other, it really is critical.
Yeah.
And I can see how that loss, after you've passed through grief and sadness, you really don't know how to negotiate or navigate out in the community again, you know?
But that's where the senior center
That's
is
where
a
the senior
very,
center
very
comes
important
in.
role.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a place to come have a coffee,
Yeah.
a lunch, and be invited into a game.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, and this is what I'm really hoping, is just by word of mouth, organically in the organization, you'll join the Fit for Health program that the city's running there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's another part. Oh, can I jump back to the story?
Absolutely, actually.
That's
and also,
another
I
part
forgot
that,
to ask, how many members in the society and how's the governance going?
Oh, okay. Well,
But,
okay. Well, I'll tell you that the city of Campbell River has excellent programs for
Yes.
50 plus. But when we were, as a senior center, was unable to provide what I call chair exercises, the city was able to. So they're running them, and we're providing the membership, and it's been a really good fit. You know, it was real bridge building between an organization that was really running well and a new organization. So instead of being territorial, we were building bridges to make a good outcome, right, for individuals and for our city. So I was really excited about that. So the city is going to run Fit for Health programs at the Common.
Oh.
Yeah. And so what I'm hoping is those people we were talking about that were feeling a little socially isolated will eventually get into that kind of activity.
Yeah.
And then you never know where it will go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
People go for a walk together.
Well, physio. You know, my grandmother in hospital, there was a maternity issue and other issues, and she didn't get physio. And it contributed to her earlier than needed demise, in my opinion.
Yep.
Can the senior center do some physio?
We don't do physio, but the more physically active you are,
Yeah.
the better able you are to make those kind of recoveries. You know, there's no question about use it or lose it at our age.
Yeah. Okay, our age. What is
Well,
if somebody's 49, can they join the senior center?
No.
If they're 55?
55 and plus is ours. The city's is 50 plus active living, so we'll need to work at some kind of bridge building there over the next 5 or 10 years, however that pans out in the future. We were laughing a little bit about 55 plus. That's the days when everybody thought they could retire at 55. Those days are gone, right? Those boom days are gone. So so that's our organization, is 55 plus. And
yeah. And how many members? How many board?
you know what? That's a really exciting part. So we've only been open 1 week. We've actually been open 7 days now,
Yeah.
and we had over 200 people in the first 2 days.
Wow.
And we have close to 300 as of this morning.
Okay.
And we have 40 some odd new members who were not members before.
Wow. Now, does that include me with my expired card in my wallet?
No, if you had an expired card, you'd get a renewal.
Okay. So I'm not part of that stat?
You're
then?
not part of that. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'll do it this afternoon.
Good.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
somebody will corral you, that's for sure.
Well, I don't need a bank loan to do it either.
No, no, it's $13 for a
13?
renewal. $13,
You've
bargain of a
raised it.
lifetime.
I paid $10.
See, you are a perfect senior. And $15 if you're brand new. So there you are. You'll have to negotiate it on your own. I will not be there to be advocating for you. No, you'll just you're on your own there, John.
Laura will help.
Okay.
Yeah. How about health issues? Your nursing was, I think, sort of general.
Actually, I nursed for 42 years, so
Yeah.
there weren't very many areas in which I didn't work.
Okay.
But the areas that I specialized in and that I got good in were emergency nursing and palliative care, a kind of interesting combination.
Yeah.
So I worked 0.7 in emergency, and then I worked 0.4 or 5, which meant I worked more than full-time in palliative home care.
Yeah.
One was a contract and one was just a casual job. And it was kind of an interesting dynamic, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
However, I was aware of the loneliness of dying alone,
Yes.
okay, and the loneliness that brought people inappropriately to emergency department.
Yeah.
Because you have real symptoms if you're lonely. You have real physical symptoms.
Yeah.
And you know, we all have symptoms of aging, and it helps when you're in the senior center laughing about it rather than at home struggling with it.
Yeah.
Do you know, there's a kind of acceptance of it. We kind of laugh together, although I am being careful about choosing chairs and things for the senior center. We need chairs that, you know, that people can get in and out of, right? Those kind of things. But we laugh about it when we struggle with it, yeah.
I have trouble cutting my toenails now.
Okay.
Hard to reach.
Yes.
But here in Campbell River, we got a new hospital coming.
Yes.
There was the hospice for, I don't know if that's a palliative hospice, but there's an issue there. They may be getting a new facility near the hospital.
Right.
What's your perspective on local?
Local, okay. I can't speak for it because I come from a province where palliative care and hospice is all part of the healthcare system.
Yeah.
In British Columbia, hospice is a not-for-profit organization.
Huh.
So I don't necessarily, it's very close to my heart, and I work with the hospice team, and I teach advanced care directives. Okay, which is a new huge booklet that the government put out. So hospice has been challenged with the responsibility of delivering that message to the public, an advanced care directive. But hospice is also advocating for palliative beds in a facility. And so...
Do you know if the new hospital is going to have
apparently they are going to go into one of our long-term care or more complex care facilities, and there are trained personnel there. Yeah. So in our long-term care facilities, our alternative level care, we have Uculta and New Horizons and Evergreen and others. They have personnel that are sensitive and trained in that area. So I'm not sure.
Does Berwick fit in there somewhere?
You know, Berwick is a business, but they run their business well. Yeah. I mean, they really know seniors. I used to teach healthy aging. So now I'm, as I told you before, the recipient of my own good advice. I'm not crazy about it, but but I visited Berwick to get the real information so that I could make sure that what was being talked about in the senior center was accurate, right?
Yeah.
as people are considering their alternatives. Not only did they receive me graciously, but then you learn that this is a business that knows their business. They know about the height of chairs, they know about easy access to dining, they know about nutrition, exercise, socialization. I mean, they really know it. They'll be a great resource in the city. Now, they serve a certain socioeconomic group, and they're well aware of that, but they are also community outreach people. So I think they're going to be an ally. And
they'll take some pressure off of the public system.
Well, it's not an alternative level of care. It's a residence. Right? Okay. And they do provide services, but be interesting to maybe even talk with them, John, because they are learning as they build facilities up the island. You know, they in my opinion, they really know what they're doing.
They started in Victoria. But I understand there's some kind of a 40-unit facility coming for aging seniors?
Yes, I believe that I have no idea where it is in the process. Well, I don't know if tenders are out or if anything's in, but it was to be 40 alternative level of care beds. So they would be complex care beds. Okay, when we talk in the public and when politicians, I wouldn't be a politician talking to the Canadian public about health care because, you know, we think it's a treasured jewel of the system. But what does health care mean to you? What does healthcare mean to you? It's like asking, what does privacy mean to you? People say, does it mean I have to wait a year for a certain kind of scan? Does it mean I'm on the waiting list for a year? Does it mean, you know, it means different things to different people, and unless we get the definition down pat, John, we're not going to have a good discussion. We need to have we need to make sure we're clear about what the expectations are and what the delivery expectations are.
That sounds like a great topic for a community discussion at the senior center.
I think that would be a great idea. You know who's coming?
No.
Seniors Advocate is coming.
Oh, wonderful.
Isabel McKenzie is going to come to the Campbell River Senior Center January the 13th in the morning.
You have no memory issues.
And I am hoping
January 13th.
Yes, and so when they contacted me, I was very clear that we are not the only seniors organization in town, that there are seniors organizations in town that are excellent. You know, the Legion provides senior housing. Okay, now that's a service agency. The Fraternal Order of Eagles, they are a brotherhood, but they are also, you know, make sure that there's things available for seniors at their organization. The city runs great programs, so we're not the only spokesperson. And Better at Home is also a program here in town.
But you've got a venue now where there's hundreds of chairs, or a few hundred. And you've got parking, and you've got tables, and you've got coffee.
And we're hoping to be a little bit like the umbrella organization, because there's room for all of us, right? There's room for all of us once we figure out what services we provide to the seniors. So anyways, Ms. McKenzie is coming, and she would like to talk to seniors themselves, and she would also like to talk...
Like one-on-one?
I think she wants to hear from the people as well as the organizations that, you know, represent the people. That's what I think anyways. And I know that she's going to, there was a publication out about doing a thorough review of everybody in care, in residential care. So I'll be interested to know what, because she's an independent office, I think. So we'll see how that goes. Great. And good for BC for doing it. You know?
Well, Helen, good for you and everybody on the Senior Center Society for what you've done too. It's a great asset for the community.
I think so too. Thanks, John.
Well, thank you, and thank you for coming in. Well, there's another talk about. And that's another season too. This is probably the last show of the year for 2014. Look for us again. I think I'll be back. And we're online as well. Shaw TV North Island has a YouTube channel. And most of the shows I think are archived there. One or two, I think there's some stuff happened. But thank you, volunteers. Thank you, Chaz in particular, for producing this. And all of Shaw's staff, Gord and Marjorie and many others that are bringing this to you. So tell a friend, talk about on Shaw TV North Island. Thanks for watching.